To get into the last survival function of star cells, I'm going to have to get into my inquiries into cosmogony, which is a branch of science dedicated to the origin of the universe. Remember when I was talking about adaptations earlier, and how biological systems are evolving adaptations to help them replicate? Well, even the laws of physics and matter could be, and space-time, could be considered a type of adaptation that has been evolved into existence. Similar to how the systems of biology, as I said, yes, are evolving into existence. All systems, from my analysis, seem to be created by some sort of evolutionary process. Complex systems, such as the universe, tend to not just pop into existence, like the Big Bang presumes. I'm not saying it's entirely wrong, not at all, but it's, let's say, incomplete and a part of a larger process. But so in the universe just doesn't pop into existence. Its subsystems are evolved over time, like an organism, it would seem. I wouldn't say the Big Bang theory is completely wrong. I think it's partly true, but it's definitely incomplete. Evident in how there are so many unanswered questions it does not address, the main of which is why? Why do particle waves or space-time exist? Why are the physical laws the way they are? Why do stars exist and not some other thing exist? Why does life exist in the universe at all? Well, the reason for all the adaptations you see in biology, such as asking, why do I have arms? Why do I have a brain? Why do I have eyes? The answer is such adaptations maximize the number and health of your ancestors' genetic replications. These parts of yourself are being evolved into existence to replicate you, life. The same seems to be considered for the cosmos. The reason all the things you see in the universe exist, it seems, is because they aid in its healthy replication, just like arms of your body and eyes. So the universe would be considered alive from this perspective, a growing, replicating, cosmic life form, while all of us and the rest of the universe as pieces are adaptations of the cosmic life form, evolved into existence to help it replicate. It's sort of like people are cells of this cosmic organism. Many of the cells of the organism die before they ever get to see the organism replicate. In the same way, many people die before they ever get to see the cosmic life form replicate. If yeah, and it's so that cosmic self and that individual self, or individual self is cannot be here without that cosmic self that it's a part of. This cosmic life form. We can conclude that there is a cosmic self, yes, we all share, in which all of our individual selves help go into making. But people inherit a state of nature perspective, a natural perspective of the cosmos, and almost like a not really natural but macro level, where it's beyond tribal, the agricultural revolutions happened, etc. The animals perceive the world as separate, dividing things, and are controlled heavily by their instincts. So it's only natural people would start the same way, believing and feeling divided from the universe, and they get to feel more divided as their technology grows. But it's almost as if their morals get worse and worse. They start abusing each other in more sad ways, and they can't help that. So their technology gets used for more destructive purposes, more and more destructive. It's just how it evolves. But so there's this that natural divided instinctual perception, and we're evolving out of that into this cosmic perspective, which is this perspective of the cosmos as revealed by truth. True emotional perceptions, true understandings of the cosmos, rather than its natural, inherited perceptions of the cosmos. Sapience rises from subjectivity into a more objective perspective, and in dawning the cosmic perspective, it's as if we gain our cosmic self, or get more attached to our cosmic self. This understanding of ourself as not just an individual, but as a piece of an enormous system. Our individual selves are pieces of this self we all share. So how would this cosmic self begin? Well, everything seems to start out as nothing. So, sorry about this. I kind of free-handed it. I shouldn't have. But I did for time, and I'm sorry there. But here we have nothing up here. There's nothing up here. I put nothing there because it's nothing. Maybe I should have wrote it out. But that wouldn't be nothing. And then nothing. No. I think this would obey the laws of systems. This is the tricky one. This is the tricky step. Okay, from nothing into something. I would think nothing can be stable for only so long. See, systems are collapsed based on their level of stability, and I think nothing could be stable before only so long before it becomes unstable and collapses. But what would nothing collapse into? I suppose the answer would be something. So nothing is unstable. It collapses into something. But something is probably unstable and collapses back into nothing. So it goes back into nothing, and then it pops back into something, expands, and does that over and over and over again, to eventually evolve expanding space and particles, lots of particles, and in fact, so many particles you have black holes. You start getting these. This is a black hole. This dot right here, and that makes it so that when its space collapses again. So what I'm saying is there's a series of big bangs. There's a bang, and then it goes back into nothing, bang again, and then nothing collapses into something, a bang happens, and then eventually you get to laws like more physical laws that can bring about space and time particles and energy, waves and particles within it, so much that eventually they coalesce into a black hole. And this black hole, when space-time collapses again, that's the big thing, is that it expands, nothing collapses into something, it expands and then collapses, it collapses back in on itself, and over and over and over again, until you get space-time, energy, and matter, and that eventually coalesce into a black hole. And then when the space-time collapses again, it doesn't collapse the black hole. The black hole survives, and the physical laws survive. The system survives because the black hole there, and it bounces off it again. So this is why, and this is this kind of has actually already kind of been proposed. I forget who it was. I'm sorry, it's been so long ago, and I should have cited it. But the idea that there's a going to be universes selected to form black holes. And why is that? There's this universes that there's so many black holes. There's just we have a universe that's been selected to make black holes. And why? And then because then it repeats. This process repeats and it collapses. Boom, and the big thing here is the collapse of space on the black hole that creates new matter and energy, new particles and waves. So when it bangs when it collapses back on the black hole and bangs, that energy is transferred into particles and waves, and so it eventually forms another black hole. And then when this process happens again and the space collapses, it divides into two black holes. There's going to be two big bangs, two universes being made, and more matter and energy made, and they uh, big bangs happen around them, and new universes are made around them, expanding space-time and more particles and waves, uh, and this is where it kind of differs. Okay, now they keep expanding again, like they did before, but they could touch. These universes could touch, and they could either stay separated into these boundaries or come back together into one giant system. I prefer this one because it's simpler. I think that it's like the universe is bonding to. I think it would probably bond back together. But and then it happens again. So you see, it's like these black holes create. The universe is creating black holes because it helps replicate more. Without the black holes, that just collapses back into nothing. All of it's gone. But if you have a black hole, it's super crazy, and it can withstand that kind of pressure and still exist. And it's allowing the universe to grow faster. It's not all going back to just one point. It's going to around all these black hole points and growing back out of them. So it's traditional theories is Big Bang happens, and it can either go just keep expanding until the universe is all cold and dead, or it's a hot death where it all collapses back in on itself. And there's a little bit leeway before there, but mine is like a big bounce theory where it collapses back in and bounces back out, but not at a central point around black holes and something else. So it keeps happening, but also star cells. That's where I get into this now, the last survival function of the star cells. It's like life. See, the black holes are selected for because it helps replicate the universe. And it seems biological life is selected for. Sorry, getting excited. And because they then create the ingredients which then make these ingredients kind of make themselves into the star cell, and these then help the universe replicate more. So it's like the star cells serving the function of these like black holes, which make more points for the universe to replicate around. So this thing would be literally making the universe.